right, everybody, welcome out to Robbins podcast number 10. We're back at the old bench today. It's hot, middle of summer, and we are full-blown in AC season. Excited to... I love the summer. I love being busy, and the days are hot. I love the warm weather. I hate cold. I could live in Phoenix. I could do it.
I did, and I can't live in Phoenix. I lived there for a little bit, but I am glad to see summer here finally. It took forever to get here, it feels like. So,
do they have elk hunts in Arizona?
Yes, not in Phoenix though.
Yeah, not in Phoenix. Yeah, I'm just saying, like in Arizona in general. Like, I mean, they got some pretty big mountains. I've rode side by sides and stuff over there before.
They have some really good elk in Arizona.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Big. The hardest part about Arizona is that you have to. They give you the tag based on how many points, and you accumulate points by how many years you've put in for hunting.
And didn't draw out,
So, but
I would have
New Mexico
like
is like
points
a
right
lottery. Yeah.
Okay.
New Mexico is just like, you may get lucky every year. Who knows?
Or it could take you 13 years to draw an elk tag.
I'll quit before then. I'll be honest with you. I'm not
Skylar's
dedicated.
over 2, and he's still a little sore about it.
I'm not dedicated at all like that. I just
give it 5 years. There's a good chance.
Well, I think in Tennessee you could just buy. I'll just kill like a whitetail or something because you can buy it over the counter there. So it's pretty simple. Not near as much fun, I'm sure, but
yeah. Anyway, we're obviously we're ready for fall. We're talking like we're excited for summer, but now we're talking fall for hunting season. But as we think about AC season, what is your favorite summer hobby? What things do you love to do in the summertime? What do you look forward to?
Vacation. I'm a summer vacation person. Love the beach. Love sand. I love all that good jazz. Like, it's funny because most of everyone that works here, like, oh, I'm going to the mountains. Like, that's my jam. I'm going to the mountains. I'm like, nah, not me. I grew up going to the beach though, where a lot of people here did not. So, yeah, we were where I'm from. We were 4.5 hours from Myrtle Beach. So that was a regular occurrence. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So.
Skylar just got back from a cruise. What'd you do on your cruise?
Yeah, just about everything under the sun. You know, that's a tough question to try to pick one or two. You know what I mean?
Did you do any zip lining?
No zip lining for me. No zip lining for me.
Okay.
So. All right, we got to go on vacation. I got to get you zip lining.
Yeah, I mean, I would zip line, but somebody's got to watch the kids. Okay, somebody's got to watch the kids. My wife is the one that wanted to zip line, so she zip lined, and not a big fan of heights. I'll be honest. Okay, I'll do anything one time, enough time to be like, hey, I don't want to do that anymore. Like that, I did not have fun. I would zip line. I would skydive too, I think, but I just don't like heights. I don't prefer that. So somebody would have to push me out of the plane or push me off of the platform, one of the two. But I would do it. But
that's pretty fun.
Yeah, somebody's got to watch the kids, so that's my excuse, and you're not going to take that away from me. So,
Mr. Mom, it is.
Yeah, Mr. Mom.
Okay, my cool summer thing is not near as cool as yours. Like, I am going to be the old lady right now. This is going to happen so hard. I love the summertime because of all the light. You get light earlier in the mornings, late in the evenings. I want to sit on my deck and watch the hummingbirds. That's my super fun thing. Yeah. Look at that.
And you got a hummingbird feeder for Mother's Day a while back,
Dude,
right?
I so did. It's the coolest.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a hummingbird named Wilson. He comes and sees me all the time.
Is he still coming back?
Dude, he comes back. I got 2 different breeds. It like shows the picture of the hummingbird and then tells you what breed it is. It's cool.
That's very cool. I bet my wife would like something like that.
Remind me again, did you name him Wilson or
the kids named him Wilson?
The kids named him Wilson.
Yep.
But you like put that in your app, right? And you're like, hey, Wilson's here.
And then it will text me, Wilson came to visit you. And then I can push play and watch him.
Was it random Wilson? Was it Wilson from Castaway? Or was it Wilson from Home Improvement, the guy that always peeks his face over the fence?
Gotta be Home Improvement.
Like it would be Home Improvement.
100%.
Like, hey, guys, I'm back. You know,
I have no idea.
Wilson.
I'm going to go with Home Improvement because that's the best one ever.
Heidi ho, neighbor.
Yeah,
Heidi ho, neighbor.
I just wish that the hummingbird could say that. It'd be so great. Every time he pops up on camera.
Okay, well, what's even cooler is you can connect with other people's cameras. So, like, I watch one that's in Panama, and it's the coolest looking hummingbird. I was even like, Steve, check this out. I'm that lady now. Look at this bird.
Bird watching and daylight is your summertime
There
things.
it is.
Okay.
Got to find beauty in the small things, you know?
Yep.
Mine has got to be backpacking up in the wilderness and doing some fly fishing or some fishing in some remote lakes, stuff like that, some streams. That's probably my funnest summertime stuff. I mean, I like camping and taking the camper out, but hiking, what was it, 40 something miles a couple years ago? That was probably a little tougher than I thought it was going to be, but we made it and it was a lot of fun. We had a blast and made a lot of memories, and
I can't believe we missed it last year.
I didn't miss it. I was on like 2 or 3 different hikes.
I missed it.
You didn't show up. Yeah, you. No, we.
I'll just remember I'll never forget when we were like 25 miles in and we come around the corner and see the rock cliff that we have to go up over the top of it.
The wall.
All of us just like wanted to sit down and go,
And cry.
oh man, this is not cool.
We did pause for the night because we were not going to make it over that night for sure. So.
This is what makes you guys fascinating to me, because like you look forward to like hiking 45
killing
miles. I'm like,
ourselves.
what? Even hunting, like, you know how emotional, like the terror of like, I did it. No, I failed. Like there's so much emotional, like that's so, you like that. It blows my mind.
The first thing I told Steve when I put in last year, and they're like, "Oh man, first time, like you're gonna have the best luck, and this is gonna be awesome." Like normally, beginner's luck. I get it, and then like what a letdown when it comes out. Like, oh my god, I was like, I almost didn't put in this year I'm like, I can't believe this. Like, I put in this year, failed again. So yeah, what a roller coaster.
It's a
like
roller.
You're so high. You put in for a hunt, and you're like, I can't imagine drawing out and missing out. And like, I'd probably have a mental breakdown. Couldn't do it.
That's it. When you miss with a bow from 20 yards on something you've waited for all year because a twig got in the way, I'm telling you, bro, that's way worse than not drawing out.
Yeah, that's horrible. So, yeah.
That sounds personal.
It is. Yeah, it really is. I did not see that twig right there. So.
Dang it. You never do. Tunnel vision.
No.
Stuff.
That's so funny.
Favorite summer work activity?
All of it.
Wait, what was yours? What's your favorite summer?
Oh yeah, you're not getting out of this.
What do I thoroughly enjoy sweating. That sounds really nasty, but
Yeah,
sorry to all of our audience.
I'm
out
sure
there.
that didn't come off the way.
But just like being on a hot roof, or I don't know, just feeling like you're working. Like it just feels rewarding.
There you go.
It does have a good feeling to it.
It does feel like that. And there's nothing like the shower in the evening after 12 hours on a super hot day, and then you shower and you're like, wow, I feel super clean now because I was so dirty. So that's way better. But
And then you could eat cookies and milk.
and
Yes,
then
you
eat
do.
cookies and milk. Yeah, and yeah, we got to try it with sourdough. Shout out Zach.
I'm probably a little like Michelle. I actually really like the daylight as well. One of our interview questions that we ask people is if they could be an animal, what would they be and why? I think my animal, at one time, I've changed this a couple of times, but I feel very content saying I feel like a bear. I could be a bear. Like I just live for the summer and the fun, and then in the winter it's just easy to hibernate. Like when the sun's not up in the morning, when I'm ready to get up, it's harder to get up. I just feel like hibernation mode sets in. So, but I do love like being able to come to work and it's daylight, and go home and it's daylight, and I love the long days. It's fun.
I could live on the equator. 12 hours of sunlight every day. Oh, I could eat that up.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
That would be awesome. I do like winter sports though, like snowboarding, stuff like that. I love the snow, but if it's not going to snow, I don't want it to be cold. So I just wish it snowed and then it just got right back warm again a couple times a year.
Maybe cold in the mountains, warm here.
Yeah, that's perfect. But it just doesn't. Everybody's like, "Oh, you live in the desert." I'm like, "No, you don't understand. Like, I live in the desert, but it's the high desert, so it gets really cold here." They're like, "Oh, really?" It's funny when we went to that training, the guys couldn't believe that. They couldn't, like, the stuff that we were telling them, how we ran our stuff, like how we installed our equipment, some of our best practices, stuff like that. And all these guys are from east of the Mississippi. They were like, "What? No, there's no way you get away with that." I'm like, "We get away with everything because we don't have any humidity." I was all, and they were like, "Oh, so it's hot there?" I'm like, No, it's not hot there. I was all, it is in the summertime. You get 100 in the summertime, but you got 0 in the wintertime. So I was all, we kind of get everything. And wind. I hate the wind.
Did they ask you if you speak Spanish?
They didn't, but one of the guys was so redneck, I thought he was speaking a different language, but he didn't, wasn't Spanish. So
That's awesome.
What question are we on again?
Oh yeah, what's your favorite work summer activity?
And I said it.
You said all of it, but what's one?
If I had to pick one in the summertime, it's probably going to be install. There's nothing better than crawling around in an attic when it's 140 degrees
With no air.
with no airflow. I don't know. I really like to build stuff, and on the install side, that would be my favorite thing to do, is just to start out with an old junky system. Maybe I like to remodel stuff, not so much build stuff, but pull out an old junky system and then install a brand new one, and everything looks great, everything fits right, and it looks nice at the end of the job. So that's what I would like to do in the summertime. Probably not maintenance like what I'm doing for the springtime. So I kind of get tired of that. I get the luxury of just bouncing around and doing whatever I want. I'm going to go do an install today. So.
Yeah, where's Steve at? No one knows he's doing something. He's doing Steve something somewhere.
Yeah.
Hopefully he took a work truck so we can see him on the GPS.
Yeah, you'll find me. I'm out there somewhere.
What do you got, Michelle? What's your favorite?
I probably like the fast pace. My activities don't change too much. More year round, I'm a little more consistent. But I actually don't freeze as bad in the summertime. At our desk, we get so cold, like our fingers won't work because the AC works so good in our building. So we have heaters going on in the summertime. Don't judge.
That's good.
But it's fun. It's like high energy. It's fast paced and trying to do what we can to take care of our guys out there just sweating and working real hard. So making snow cones in the office and stuff.
We do have a snow cone maker. We need to break that out.
It's kind of fun.
It's been in storage.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Mine is the chaos. I love the chaos. Like the people flying in and out, the phone's ringing off the hook. People are frustrated. Everyone you talk to is mad because they're hot. And I know we've talked about this on here before, but it's funny how when people call in the summertime, they're upset. When people call in the wintertime, they're really nice. Super nice people want you to show up ASAP, but it's kind of the opposite in the summertime. So, but I love the chaos. I love being able to solve problems on the spot and put out fires. And even though it's probably the least productive thing that I do on a daily basis, I think it's the most fun. So being able to solve a problem, and when the guys come to you or when a customer comes to you with an issue or they walk through the door with an issue, it's fun to kind of take care of that and feel like you're making a difference, even though it's not super productive to what you're supposed to be doing. So
love it. I got a curveball question coming at you.
No, you didn't answer that one.
I did.
What'd you say?
Remember I said sweating?
Oh, sweating. Oh yeah, that's right. How did I forget that? How did I? Yeah, I played that really good, I guess.
It's all right.
That was an accident. I'm sorry.
Bring it up again.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
What is a podcast or a book that you've read or listened to recently that has really impacted you or helped you with maybe something going on at work, or not too personal, but...
Okay, I'll start.
Okay.
So I just recently read this book by Alan Alda called If I Understood You, Would I Have This Look on My Face? I did it on audio, and he narrates the book, and he's so good, and he tells so many cool stories. It's like really easy to understand, and it's just cool. He talks a lot about like for example, if you had a scientist that created a cure for cancer, but they weren't very good at communication, like they could solve the world's problem, but they can't communicate what they want to get across. So are they really like helpful? So he kind of makes that more important, like teach this scientist how to speak and how to get his point across so that everyone understands, and then the effectiveness can move forward of the solution that he's created. Or like if you had to go in front of Congress and say something, like if you can't get your message across and they can't understand you, how can you get anything done? So it's really cool. He uses a lot of cool experiences and takes like his improv acting skills and merges them into like scientific students and stuff at universities. And it's a fun book, kind of about communication, learning how to understand and be understood. It's a good one. Makes you think.
What was it called again?
If I Understood You, Would I Have This Look on My Face, by Alan Alda.
What? That's an awesome book title.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
He's just one of those guys that's just lived a lot of experience. And so when he writes, you can tell it comes from experience. So it's cool.
So if you don't know who he is, he's an actor.
He was on MASH.
He's a MASH guy. So he's on a lot of other stuff too. But
You remember that movie, that Mel Gibson movie, What Women Want? He was in that movie too.
I've seen it, I'm sure.
Those are really the only two like movies I can or show and movie that I can remember him in. What else has he been in?
He's probably done a lot of other stuff, but
a
yeah,
ton.
just off the top of my head.
I'm so
I can't
bad
think.
with actors' names. Like, I don't know the name. I just know what they look like. Like, that's that guy from that other movie. I don't know anyone's name.
Who's your favorite actor?
Oh man, that's tough. I'm a funny type guy, so maybe it'd have to probably be like Mark Wahlberg or
Yeah,
Will
good.
Ferrell or
Good
somebody.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought for sure you were going to say Adam Sandler. Also.
I mean, I do love
Waiting.
Adam Sandler. Yeah, I do love Adam Sandler, but Mark Wahlberg has like my sense of humor. I think where he can go like he can play serious in some movies, but even though he's playing in like a drama role, he still says like the funny lines that have you cracking up while you're watching the movie. Even like so, it's kind of my forte. So
That's cool.
my wife would agree with me too, by the way. So also her favorite actor, unfortunately.
Okay. What do you got? What's your podcast or a book that stands out to you?
Man, I've been struggling. I dropped off for about a month trying to listen to 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm not a big reader, so I try to listen. I'm much better at listening to like podcasts or audiobooks. I'll be honest, I really like it. Like the information is awesome, but man, it's tough to listen to on audio. It's
that one's
so
tough.
Yeah. So I dropped off for about a month or so, not listening to it, and now I've started back. I just recently had to take a car ride the other day, so I started listening to it again and just trying to change my habits in general. Right, I need to just do better as a person, as a manager, as a father, as a husband. Right, so just the way that things are explained and hearing someone else's perspective like that's obviously that's an old book, right? From I don't even remember the date that the book came out, but that book's been around for a long time. But at the very beginning of the book, he reads and he's like, people ask me all the time, like, do these things change or do they still apply even though they've been around so long? You wrote this book such a long time ago. He's all, of course they apply. It'll never change. Like it'll always be the same. And the more that you think about it, it's like, you don't even realize that it's not like a present day book, right? That it wasn't written 4, 5, 6, 7, even 8 years ago, right? It's still everything that he says in that book still applies to every day. So just seeing someone else's different perspective and it's still making a difference in how you can apply it to your own life and apply it to yourself and to your morals and to your, the way you live your life on a daily basis, I think makes a big difference. So even though it's a little tough to listen to, I do enjoy it. It just, I have to really force myself to do it. It's something like, I don't know what else is like that, but you don't want to do it. Then once you start doing it, you're like, oh yeah, this is all right. I enjoy this. So
That's cool. That's a good one.
Yeah, mine is probably more along the lines of Skylar's. So one book that I've gotten back into, kind of the same thing. I've listened to this book again. I don't read either. Let's just put that out there. It would probably take me 6 years to read the book, but I can listen to it in about 12 hours. So I think that's how long it is. But
Steve reads schematics.
yes,
He can read schematics in about 15 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
Yep, know what that said.
Yeah.
But books, nah.
not books. Words, they're, I don't know if you watch Nate Bargatze. It's like, I don't read books. There's just so many words. So never gives up. So, but anyway, it's How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Again, it's an old book. It's not something that was written recently. But yeah, I've listened to this book throughout the years. I'm a creature of habit, and I always tend to fall back into the habits. I'm pretty introverted and don't really put myself out there. And when I do read this book and I get into it, it's a lot easier for me to just kind of break some of them old habits and go back into, hey man, it's a lot easier when you connect with people instead of just staying bottled in and doing stuff like that. So I've enjoyed that book and I've started back into it because I kind of reverted back to some older habits, and it just helps me kind of throw out of that loop and get back into where I need to be.
Trying to think. Listened to some podcasts here recently. There's a good one. There's a good podcast called the Dad Edge. So, like right now, I'm in the thick of things. Have four littler kids, and it's a good perspective of just not letting things slip, like staying sharp as a dad and staying sharp physically and staying sharp at work, and he does a good job of like bringing in good guests. And one that I recently listened to was a fitness guy. His name's Jim Stepani, and he's a nutritionist, and he's a bodybuilder really. But what's cool about it is he's not just like all about bodybuilding. He's more so of like a scientist. He went to school, a couple different colleges like Harvard and one other one that helped him really develop more than just seeing it as lifting weights, but understanding how nutrition works. And I thought it was just really interesting. And I think the thing that I took away from it was just realizing that you have to do everything in moderation. You can't be so ingrained in one thing that you forget about everything else. And that's hard to do. I'm thinking about summertime right now and how it just kind of grabs hold of all of us and doesn't let go. And even though we really enjoy it and love it, like we just talked about, it's also something where we have to be aware of making sure that we're watching ourselves and our families and things like that as well. So just good reminders. I think like what you talked about, there's a reason that professional athletes need coaches, is because it's easy to forget the little stuff. You could say, oh, they're professionals, but you don't see them just go play games. They go play a game and then they practice 5 days a week, and it's like, well, if professional athletes need constant reminders of sharpening and working on their skills and reminders of what we need to be doing, it's important for us to do the same thing, making sure we're getting that consistent coaching, whether we're listening to the same stuff over and over again or looking for new stuff that can help us. And I think that's super important. So
it's the basics. Mm-hmm. It always is.
We try to make it more complicated than it is.
It's always the basics.
Yeah, I'll just throw out there from my perspective at this point in my life, just keep going and keep trying. My two older boys that don't live at home, I'm hearing now like what really was going on when I was doing my best and really trying. They're filling me in on how it was really. So like you do the best you can, and they're great. They're great young men. We have good kids, but just do your best. Keep trying. If it takes you 6 years to manage one habit, just do that.
Yeah, just keep doing that.
I think where I was kind of headed, and where I think all of us are headed for this, is helping our customers and our homeowners know, those who listen to this podcast, as we strive to improve ourselves, what things are we doing here that we're striving to improve and change and work on to in turn then help our homeowners and our customers. And one thing that comes to mind is a lot of the training we do. Some that came to mind is Skylar and a few of the installers, and then 3 of our service technicians. They got to go do factory training, so we put them on an airplane and send them out for a week to the factory, and they got to see some of the new stuff that's coming out, and they got to see just some training that's not consistently what we do. A lot of times we focus on the basics and in the home training and that kind of stuff, but they got to go learn some new things and some new skills, and I think that's one thing, right, as far as staying sharp in a changing industry, is just focusing on what we can do to continue to keep the customer's best interest in mind of how we're going to help them as the dynamics change. But I don't know what you guys can think of that we do to help stay ahead of the curve and really benefit and help people.
I think as factory dealers for Bryant, I think, we stay in the know a lot better than, we depend on, Sigler, our distributor. They tend to kind of lean on us, hey, for some feedback on some of the new stuff that's coming out, and then vice versa, right? We expect them to kind of let us know, because we do have that status of being a factory dealer of, hey, we, whatever new stuff comes out, we want to check it out and let, if we could pass that on to the customer, if it's something really beneficial. Like, it's kind of out in the open now, but the past 5 years, inverter driven compressors have came how like super far where we're heating and cooling houses at, you're heating houses at negative 22 degrees now, where 8 to 10 years ago, that wasn't a thing. Like there's no way 35 degrees, that's a flat no. So now more and more people are starting to get educated and have a lot of questions about heat pumps and trying to get off natural gas or get off propane or heat their house electrically in another way. And it's, at the end of the day, it's up to us to work with Bryant and go to these trainings across the country and do all of this stuff to kind of stay in the know and pass that on to the customer and kind of know, because who else are they going to lean on, right? We're the ones that they lean on. We do this for a living. If I needed someone else in another professional or another profession and I didn't know about it, I expect them to know. So I think the weight's awesome. We really like that weight on our shoulders. We like that. We like being leaned on that way. So, but I think when we go to stuff like that and having the status that we do with Bryant and with Sigler, I think that goes a long ways at the end of the day. So,
yeah, I think it's interesting. We've had multiple distributors, and there's opportunities for us to go to different trainings and stuff like this, and then how to operate and how to create the culture that we have and stuff like that. And everybody that walks in our door and kind of sees how we operate and do stuff, they're just like, this is unbelievable. Like nobody does this. All the information's out there, but nobody actually implements what's going on. And so every one of our dealers, either it be Johnstone or Sigler or any of the other ones, when they come in, they're just like, you guys are different. Right. We're offering stuff. We're providing, 10-year warranties. Nobody ever does that. And so a lot of that stuff where we're trying to make sure that we're providing the best education for our guys, the best for the community and all that stuff. And what we would want in our own homes, right? The service, if I was to have one of our guys go install something in my house, that's how I want them to install it in somebody else's house. And so, and to be able to do it where we can walk away from it and know, hey, for the next 10 years, you're really not going to have any issues, right? One, out of financially, but we want that system to last the whole lifetime of that system, not just 10 years. So we do the extra stuff as far as checking the ductwork, making sure we've got plenty of airflow, where I think a lot of the other companies are just, let's just go install this and we're done. And that's just, we can't, morally, we have a hard issue with that. And so then that's why we push ourselves to get the extra education like Skylar was talking about.
Sometimes it's fun too to put our skills out there. Like when you go to these other trainings or we bring other trainers in, we're just like in our own corner of the world and we just do what we think is best. But then when you kind of put it out there more visible to these other companies across the nation and they're like, wow, it's kind of like, oh, well, that's kind of cool that we're doing good things and it's recognizable outside of our area. So, but it's, you could stay tucked in your own little corner and not know what's going on out there. So it is cool that we continually try to bring in outside information and what we're doing is right up there with what's out there.
I think it's interesting to note, Richard, you brought up that we'd sent some guys to the factory to go do some learning and stuff there. And, Skylar went with our installers and I happened to go there about halfway through it. And they were talking about some of these guys have been doing installs for 15 years. And our guys were surprised of how little they knew. And so I think it was really cool for our guys to see that. It was like, wait a minute, we are a little bit different because this stuff we learned in the first 6 months to a year. And these guys are still struggling with it 10, 15 years down the road. They don't understand how a refrigeration cycle works. And so it was interesting to hear that. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it was just, not to talk bad about anybody, but most companies, one way that we run our company in differently, right? And everyone sitting at this table kind of knows, but just to give everybody else an aspect is most HVAC companies you go to, probably 75% of them, their installers they don't commission their own equipment. They install the stuff, they install the line set, they solder everything in, they pressure test it, call it a day. Right, you leave it under pressure. The service tech will come and make sure it's vac down. They'll make sure they do all the commissioning. They set the blower speed. They make sure their static pressure is good. They set the gas pressure. They do all that, right? They do all the commissioning. Our guys start doing that in the first 90 days, right? We teach them that right off the rip. They get to see that. They get to see their lead installer or whoever's training them to start doing that right off the rip. There's service techs that have been doing it 2 years that I would put our 6-month our 6-month installer against all day long, all day. And that's just for the simple fact of we want our guys to be able to do it all. Right. And I don't know the exact reason. I did work for a company previously that kind of did that, but I wasn't really in the know about how it works, but I can't think of a reason why you would do that. Right. Because to me, I would think that if I were to do that to you as an installer, you're not progressing it yourself, right? You're just an installer. I would think for me, you're not helping the customer at all. So the reoccurring business isn't near as well, right? Because you're having and it can't be cost effective at the same time. Like, how can it be cost effective? Because now I have to schedule my service tech to go back out there after the fact. So it's just pretty interesting about how our training kind of runs in full circle like that at where it really takes effect. So now meeting people that are from somewhere completely different. It's like a different planet out there. They run their systems differently. They run their companies differently. They're from a completely different part of the world. They're from Connecticut and Pennsylvania and Michigan and Ohio and all these other places. And they just do things completely different than we do. But any day of the week, I know just about everybody has a big head, right? They're managers of their company. I'll put my guys against anybody. I would put money on that, and I still will stand by. We should probably go to do the Service Titan HVAC competition. I think we should, because I think we would do really, really well. So just knowing that, and you're right, you're perfectly right. I think the installers getting to see that, I think on the inside, I think that made them explode. Seeing these service techs, that some of them that were in the class that have been doing this 10 years, and they were like, I've been doing this too, and I'm every bit as good as that guy. Yeah. So I think that's a really good feeling.
Well, I think on that end of it, we don't pigeonhole that installer to install for the rest of his life, right? I mean, installing is not the easiest on the body if you're going to be crawling in attics or crawl spaces. It's just physically demanding on your body. So as that guy progresses through his career, the way that we train it, it's pretty easy to transition that guy into a demand service tech, just because he has a lot of knowledge. And I'm not saying that he's going to be better than a service tech right off the rip, but I think he's going to understand airflow much better. I mean, some of our lead technicians now were installers to begin with, and they understand the full system, not just diagnosing the furnace or the AC, but they know that it's the whole system, the ductwork, everything on it. And so at the end of the day, I think it just betters them and their career path as well.
Yeah, I think as we wrap this up, a lot of these podcasts, some of the stuff we talk about can feel like we're patting ourselves on our back, but really, to be honest, we are, right? We work very hard for that. It's not something that's easy. But I think more importantly than patting ourselves on our back is that we want our community and our customers and the people out there watching this podcast and who would interact with us to know that we strive very hard to make sure that who we put in your home is better than anybody else in even probably, from here to Indianapolis, right? That we're trying very hard to make sure that we're giving the customer the best experience possible. And that's forefront of our minds. We work very hard for that. And I think as we talked about books and things we've done, that's something as a company that we do very frequently is the training and the helping people, helping these technicians to know and get to a point where they can go out and serve the customer to the best of their abilities. And that's what we feel comfortable with. And that's what I hope people will realize and see when they call Robbins, that they know that the quality is second to none. The quality and the expertise they're getting is better than anybody else they would call in Farmington or anywhere in the surrounding region. And do we still make mistakes? Yep. Do we still have things that we can improve on? Yep. But that's part of the process of coaching and consistently working on improving and making those things better, is understanding where we fall short and then improving them so that we can continue forward and not just get stagnant. Because unfortunately, a lot of times I think within trades there is a set standard out there, but there's not really a great way to enforce the set standard. There's organizations like ACA and ASHRAE and things like that look out for the homeowner, and they set some of these standards out there, but there's not a great way that they're enforced. And so really contractors in general can kind of just determine if I can get by with cutting a corner here, or, you know, I know that nobody's going to check me there, like, they can really get away with quite a bit. And so as a homeowner, it really does the homeowner a huge disservice to not have a way for them to know who they're calling is going to provide excellent service. And so I think as far as that goes, we just know that just falls within us and our integrity to make sure that we are going to follow those standards and put people in homes that know what they're doing and do it to the best of their ability. And that's what we strive for. So
I think at the end of the day, it's pretty simple. We just want someone that doesn't know anything about HVAC, referring to a customer, doesn't know nothing, to call us, feel good when the technician shows up and they get the job done and they don't know how good they were at their job at all, right? We don't ever want them to have a bad experience, whether that's with us or another company at the end of the day, right? That's not serving our community, right? So but it is a good feeling. Like, I know like you said, it sounds like we're patting ourselves on the back, but if we don't say it here, well, you know, when are we going to say it? Our technician isn't going to show up and tell you how cool he is, right? How good he is at his job. So it's, yeah, a lot goes into it. I think you made a really good point. Like, a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of, effort out of the guys, a lot of effort out of everybody involved. The ladies in the office scheduling this stuff. It goes all the way through the chain and back, getting these guys prepared, and just to where they can go and run a service call for an hour and a half and do the right thing and get in and get out before, Mrs. Jones even knows what happened. She doesn't know how good you were, that you were just that good. So that's kind of the goal at the end of the day. So.
Too bad we don't have enough podcast headphones for our entire team, right? Because we're saying it because there's only 4 headsets, so that's limited. But man, every one of our team could be on here. Just they rock.
I know the installers would get in here and gloat about
they're
it on
such
themselves.
cool
Yeah,
people.
so
Yeah.
you know they would.
Yeah, you know they would.
We're gonna have to order some more.
Yeah.
Order some more headphones. Get them in here.
Well, we're going to wrap it up for today. Appreciate everybody tuning in and the thoughts and feedback. We're hopeful that what we say here will be taken and used and help those who would hear it. So thanks, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Adios.